Hello everyone, welcome back to the South Stand View. It's just Mum and Dad again tonight. Fun Uncle Mike is still not with us. I think he's
Who's Mum and who's Dad, sorry?
I'll be Mum, mate. I'll be like the missus player type if you want. Help
That's
us on the way! But Mikey is still not with us. We think he's a little bit better, but has he got football training tonight or something?
He might have, yeah.
No, he shouldn't.
He said he wasn't free until a little bit later, which didn't obviously work with our other schedules and everything. So I thought we'd just jump on as us two. But we have spoke obviously today, haven't we, mate? And from next week we'll be back at it on a more consistent basis. Don't you worry. But yeah, we're with Meltdowns, aren't we? Which feels like first time in ages, doesn't it?
By other schedules, mate, do you mean your Love Island schedule?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, yeah, mate, we're back with Meltdowns. Feels like with the midweek fixtures, mate, we haven't been able to get one in for a while.
No,
but
how inconsiderate of them.
Cheeky bastards, aren't they, mate? But we've got 2 Mondays, happy Mondays coming up. Well, hopefully 2 happy Mondays.
Yeah.
We're back with Meltdowns. But before we go any further, guys, I will backtrack and say, please like, comment, and subscribe. Press the notifications bell if you don't. That makes you a bell end. Suck your Marge if you don't. But Charlie, welcome to Meltdowns episode 3, I want to say.
Yeah, it is the 3rd one, I believe. As you've said, all these midweek games have just put a halt to it, haven't they? But like you say, we've got some Monday games over the next few weeks, so I think Meltdowns will definitely be back on a more consistent basis, I would like to think. But yeah, I must admit, the Meltdowns that we're going to have a look at today have actually been provided by Mike, so big up to Mike if you're watching, mate.
He's still doing his work, bless him.
He's still working, so it means we have still got to pay his salary. Obviously, it's that what is it, SSP, a statutory sick pay.
Yeah, he's fucked.
Yeah. I think we might have to start calling him Mike Bamford, because he's always in treatment.
Mike Schmidt, he just never turns up.
No, so where shall we start, mate? Do you want a bit of Amface? Do you want a bit of Millwall?
We'll keep it relative to our upcoming fixtures, mate, and we'll start with a bit of Amface. I want to segue something after that and say, can you imagine the Meltdowns we do midweek if we pull that win off next Sunday? Fuck me.
That'll be one where we're just sat and it'll be like a kid at Christmas to prepare.
Michael, mate, I'm pretty sure of it.
I will be on Twitter 24/7 until we do Meltdowns if we get that over the line. But anyway, let's not get too excited because that game's not happened yet. But Chris Wilder, obviously, we all know deep down hates Leeds United, and we hate him. And that's pretty fair to say. So it's a bit weird when he talks nice about us, but I think he must think we're all thick and actually believe what he says. Because, I mean, this is what he's had to say, obviously, after beating Middlesbrough. Everybody's tipped to win it. From my point of view, I'd say the same. Now, again, definitely doesn't mean it, because why would you come out and say that the team that are 2 points ahead of you are going to win the league? You just wouldn't come out and say that, would you? So, clear and evident mind games, isn't it, mate?
He's just a fucking idiot, mate. I cannot stand that fella. I mean, since we gave him a fucking hiding earlier in the season, he's like, oh, well, they should be the best team. They've got the highest wage bill and blah, blah, blah.
That way he said that, didn't he?
You got a spanking. And I just pray to God we're going to do it again, mate, because it would be biblical seeing his post-match. I'll get his post-match script tattooed on my fucking head if we beat them.
And obviously, with that game being an away game as well, hopefully, all being well, if it goes well for us, we'll do an instant reaction to that, and hopefully we can get his comments in live and we can react to it. But only if it goes well, I must admit. But anyway,
you won't hear from us until probably Friday if we lose.
We might just quit the pod.
Yeah, the pod's done.
Yeah, we'll throw it in, I think, if that happens. But anyway, so I mean, did you watch any of the game between them two last night? Did you watch Sheffield United Borough?
I didn't, mate. I tried to not get too involved with other people's games because I'll just get myself worked up. But I was on it. I think I put in the group chat that was it Preston they were playing?
No, they played Borough, didn't they?
I'm about Sheffield United. No, who played? What the fuck am I on about here?
What are you on about?
Who scored late on? Was it Sheffield United scored twice?
They scored 2 late goals, yeah.
Must be that, mate. I don't know what fucking day it is. Who did Burnley play?
Burnley beat Hull 2-0 and Sunderland beat Luton 2-0.
I don't know where
all the teams in and around us won, which I'm at a point at the minute where like we got the job done, so that's all that matters to me.
Mate, everything's in order in our house. Everything's good. You know what I mean?
I was listening to the Square Ball earlier, and they made a really good point actually. If the Sheffield United, Burnley, and Sunderland games had been Tuesday and they'd have won, and then we'd have beaten Watford last night, I think we'd feel a bit better about it. But because it was like the other way around, I feel like people are a bit more on edge about it. But at the end of the day, Leeds are still top. The next 2 games, as we know, are massive. If we can even get a minimum of 4 points out of these next 2, and I think we're all but up, in all honesty, and I would go as far to say that. But yeah, hopefully it'll be 6. But yeah, old Hamface can just wind his fucking neck in.
I just thought of something.
I think if we were to get 4 points out of the next 2, I would much rather draw with Sunderland and beat Sheffield United, I think. If you had to give me one that was a guaranteed win, it'd be Sheffield United, I think. 100%.
100%, mate. But I just really don't want, for the sake of this podcast and Mike's mental health, Enzo Lafay to score. I don't think we'd ever live that down, mate.
I'll be honest. You know what? I am going to say it with my chest now. Might be a hot take. I think we win both games, personally.
Same.
I think the form that we're in at the minute, especially the Sunderland game, weirdly, because it's at Ellen Road as well. And Sheffield United, like I know they won 3-1 last night, but they weren't great from what I watched it anyway. Again, I turned it off halfway through because I think I don't want to get too invested in it. I found myself getting drawn into it. I was checking group chats and I thought, no, just leave it.
It's about time for Love Island as well, then, wasn't it, mate?
It was, to be fair, but joking apart, I would have probably turned it off anyway because every time I checked my phone, I was seeing tweets about it. I was getting WhatsApp messages about it, and I just thought, it's not that point in season yet for me. I think we've got, when it gets to like the last 10 games, I think that's when it'll be like that sort of territory. But anyway,
have you noticed, 1 minute, mate. Have you noticed when I think we both weren't watching it? Mikey must have been watching it because he put in the group chat they've scored and then they've scored again. We both just ignored him. We were like, "Fuck off, Mike! Giving us bad news."
Oh, Mike, stop trying to ruin me. Try and watch.
Sorry, Mikey.
Anyway, I think before we go into Millwall, we have mentioned this guy on a previous Meltdowns. I think Mike must follow him. Neil Maupay is obviously the chief shithouse in football. And we particularly like this one because he's talking about an ex-Scum player. So we'll just share this. Obviously, it's a clip from the overlap, which I think Paul Scholes was on. And he's put, "Surprise, Paul Scholes can fit my name in his mouth alongside his daughter's toes."
See,
now, for those of you who don't know, I think there was a clip a few years ago going round that Paul Scholes basically sucks his daughter's toes.
No, it's worse, mate. He bites her toenails off.
Yeah. It's something involving toes. I knew that.
It should be in prison, mate.
We should be on some form of register, I think, for that.
Yeah.
But again, Neil Maupay, first he was tweeting about the Everton score, even though he's technically an Everton player on loan. I think he obviously forgot that. Speaking of Everton, it's not on any of the screenshots we've got here, but did you see the meltdown that Curtis Jones had with Abdoulaye Doucouré? Have you seen that?
No, mate, I've not seen it.
So, obviously, the game finished 2-2, didn't it? between Everton and Liverpool. It was the last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. They scored the equaliser in the 98th minute. Everton.
Good goal,
through James Tarkowski. It was a good finish. But then at full time, Abdoulaye Doucouré goes and celebrates in front of the Liverpool fans. And Curtis Jones, let's say, didn't quite like that. And ran over, and there was a big brawl just near the away end, to the point where there was some police that actually ran on the pitch as well. And I think Doucouré got a red card. Well, I think he were on a booking anyway, so he got another booking and got a red. Curtis Jones got a second yellow card and got a red. And I think Arne Slot got a red card as well for complaining to the ref. So it was... I didn't watch it, but I just saw the clip on Twitter from TNT Sports, and yeah, it was just mad.
What is Curtis Jones thinking? Doucouré would fucking monster him.
Yeah, and it wasn't... There was no punches swung. He literally just grabbed hold of his shirt, and they were both just, But I just thought, you little weasel. I thought,
good old Moisey, mate.
Good old Moisey. He was your tip for Leeds job on him, mate.
Yeah, mate. At the start of the season, if Fark didn't pull his finger out of his ass, I was saying why Moyes is available. We should probably go and get him. But I'm riding with Dan at the minute. He's living life happily in the loft. So
yeah, how is he?
He's all right, mate. He's making some funny sounds, and I can hear some funny midgets coming out.
Is Isaac Schmidt still up there and still locked up? He ain't escaping anytime soon.
No, mate. We've kicked him out now after that performance against fucking Millwall.
I've actually seen other create like Leeds YouTubers and stuff. I've seen people say that Schmidt was the best player against Millwall, and I just think, I mean, I was at the game. I didn't see anything from Isaac Schmidt that. And again, I don't think these people are saying that he should be starting, but they all thought that he played well considering the lack of game time. I just thought, okay, fine.
I thought that solidified the reason that he wasn't playing, mate, that game. And I was like, I see it now. He's shit.
That's like saying Gilavogi should be anchoring the midfield. I mean, it shouldn't be happening. You think if Gilavogi tried to do that turn that Tanaka did on Tom Ince, he'd end up breaking his back.
Mate, do you know what's sad? You stop calling him a sexy nickname now, like Big J, and you're just naming his surname. He's lost his name.
But if he does if he scores at Plymouth away, and I see a good Insta post from him after, then he'll be Big J again. But I just think that performance is just, like with Joseph, if he scores, then it's League One. But if he has a shitter, he gets demoted again. It's kind of like that.
He's in League Two at the minute.
And speaking of the Sheffield United game as well, who scored against them at Ellen Road?
It was League Two Matty, but he was League One Matty then. He might not even have been League One Matty then.
No, I think he was just Matty.
Yeah, just Matty Joseph. But I don't think he'll be anywhere.
Pascal from corner, wasn't it? Yeah. But anyway, we've ended up on a tangent there, as we always do. But go on, let's get into Millwall now. I think it's what the people are here for, to be honest. It's what we're here for anyway.
Should have got big.
Yeah, unless you've been living under a rock for the last few days, Millwall obviously knocked us out of the cup, which they were very happy about.
DJ.
Even though they beat our reserves. And they know they beat our reserves as well. Like, they do know that. But they still acted like they'd won the cup, won the league, whatever. And obviously, we saw tweets like this from
Who's
Millwall.
DJ? Does anyone know?
I don't know, I think Femi. No, Femi's the guy's first name.
Right, okay.
He's called Femi. He's called Femi Aziz. So... Right. DJ Femi play Joy Division. Right, okay, right. Fine.
Very good.
Now, we get it. Right, if it was the other way around, we would have probably tweeted something out like that, I imagine.
Wouldn't have cared.
No, I mean, if like they were at the top of the league and had made changes and we were, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get it, and it's a bit of banter, fine, but how they were reacting on Twitter, especially, were like they had literally won the league, and it was very bizarre. But then they got massively humbled last night, didn't they? They got beat
By
5-1 by Plymouth. Now, again, Plymouth are probably riding a bit of a wave after knocking Liverpool out of the cup. But, they were bottom of the league before kick-off last night, and they've got beat by them 5-1. Now, Mikey decided to take to Twitter and get into some, let's say, conversations with some Millwall fans. So we've got Mikey's at the top, by the way. He's Wacko TV. So obviously he's responded to, I think it was the Millwall account putting out that they'd got beat or whatever, full time, whatever. And then DJ Femi play Joy Division, obviously, just a little, just to see if we can get a bite.
And boy, did he get a bite.
And obviously Sam has not taken it too lightly. Notifications on for another team. Proper classic Leeds United sex offender behaviour. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Poor Mikey.
And then obviously there's another Leeds fan here that's joined in to help Mikey out. The way the internet works is you search or interact with a club, they pop up in your feed for a while. Mikey said obviously you're wasting his time. The logic doesn't resonate. And then Sam's bitten back. Now, we actually thought off air that Sam was a Leeds fan, but he obviously isn't because he's the one that said about being a sex offender, basically. So normal behaviour wouldn't do it. No, I agree. But we're not talking about normal people here, are we? We've seen some strange behaviour from you lot. I mean,
stranger behaviour from you, mate.
At least we're not a nasty set of bastards. At least we don't. Well, I say at least we don't chant about tragedies and stuff. I've been at Ellen Road where I've heard the odd murmur of like tragedy chanting, but at least when we say it's a minority, it usually is a minority of just dickheads who turn up to games, but it's always just Millwall, isn't it, mate? It's like it was the whole away end was chanting about Chris and Kev, and on a serious note, I just think their fans need banning from away games personally.
They're a disgrace, mate, and I don't use that word like lightly. They're the worst fan base in football, bar fucking none, especially in
Britain. Definitely in this country by a country mile, yeah.
But mate, what the fuck? I've just got the league table up. I did not realise Luton were bottom of the league.
They are now, yeah.
Won 7 games all season.
Sheffield United are at Luton on Saturday as well, so that's probably going to be a win. So they could actually be top of the league when we go into play Sunderland. But again, it'll be a test of our sort of character, won't it, and how we kind of bounce back from that if that is the case. But again, the square ball have said recently, and I agree. I think we're just built differently this season. It feels different. Like we did go on a bit of a run at this point last season as well, but this just feels more. I don't know. It just feels different, doesn't it, mate? It just feels a lot better this time round.
Like if we put a run together now, like we did, avoiding the back end of last season. If we put a run together like we did this time last year, then mate, it'll be wrapped up by the Bristol City game, I'm sure.
Yeah. I like I said, I personally think if we win these next 2 games, we'll be all but up, in my opinion. And I think the run will just continue even more. Then, do I think we may lose a game from now till the end of the season? Yeah, probably. Something will happen. It's Leeds United, but if we can get, even Sunderland, Sheffield United, and West Brom, if we can come out of those 3 games fairly unscathed, then I think whatever happens after that, I still think we'll be fine. But yeah, so just the last screenshot to get in before we obviously wrap it up, mate.
Mikey's on again.
Someone else responding to the same tweet that Mikey put out, saying, I've never seen a fan base so rattled. Mikey replies, life comes at you pretty fast, doesn't it? And then he's put, last week has really got to you, hasn't it? I'd suggest counselling, maybe. I mean, and like Mikey said, at the bottom, it's obviously tongue in cheek, but he's right. It's not that deep. You've got to be able to take it if you're dishing it out. You know, I've kind of thought that to myself recently because there were times where I would kind of I'd go to tweet something out and then I'd think, oh no, but this could bite me on the ass. But now I'm just thinking, fuck it. I can give it out and I can take it. Like I could say something about Sunderland, they could beat us, and then I'll get it back. That's fine, whatever, because it's what we do. So
it's not.
I don't get why people take it so personally. To be fair, mate, but yeah,
it's really not that serious, mate. But as we were saying that we are built different this year, mate, I've just cast my mind back. Do you know the date of our last loss?
I do.
Go on.
It was the 30th of November.
Correct. Away to Blackburn. So we've not lost in fucking 2.5 months, mate.
Exactly.
That's me.
And I mean, I'm just to play devil's advocate here because I don't think this will happen. But if we were to lose one of the next two, do you think that'll be massively detrimental?
No, mate. I think we could lose. Not that I think we're going to, but I think we could lose the next 2 games and we'd still go up as champions.
Yeah, I think I don't think it'll happen. I think worst case we'll get 4 points, but if I'm honest, I do think we'll win. I think especially if we beat Sunderland, I think we'll definitely beat Sheffield United. Then I think we'll just be as tails will be up, and I just think we'll just absolutely go at them. And I think Sheffield United will definitely come to play as well.
Yeah,
and that plays into our hands. And I think Sunderland will because they'll need that win on Monday. You know, because if we beat them on Monday, then they're pretty much done in terms of automatic promotion. Like they're
done in terms of us, mate. Yeah, where are they now? 5 points behind Sheffield United as it stands.
We've got 7 points on them at the minute, so if we beat them, we'll be 10 clear of them. But that's why I wasn't as bothered about Sheffield United beating Borough, because as long as we've got that gap between us and the playoffs, I'm not really bothered about Sheffield United. I'll be honest.
We're 21 points ahead of 5th place.
27 points ahead of 7th, I think. Or is it 24? Or is it 24? But yeah, that's what I mean. It just it's not even the score lines for us at the minute. It's how we're playing as well. Like that Watford game was just silly. Like we just absolutely took the piss out of them. The Cardiff game, obviously, and I know it was 7-0, but we absolutely demolished them. The Coventry game should have easily been another 6 or 7. So
what we don't need, mate, is Dan James takes a penalty for Wales that doesn't send them to the Euros or something.
No, but at least with this international break, there's no important games in it, so it's just pointless games. And I had a look earlier. The first game we've got after the international break is Swansea at home, so it's not a bad game to come back to, I guess.
Mate.
But yeah, so I mean, in terms of the screenshots that we've got for Meltdowns, that is the end of them. It's been another good one, as always. It's always good to have a laugh at Millwall, especially, isn't it? But like Isaac said earlier, guys, I think if we can get some good results in the next 2 games, I think Meltdowns is going to be a whole lot better over the next few weeks. But yeah, have you got anything to add, mate?
Fuck bitches, get money.
Yeah. And on that note, I mean, hope everyone has a good Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, what are you doing, mate? Are you taking the missus out wining and dining?
We're off for a meal, yeah, and then we're off to the cinema.
What are we going to watch?
First time I ain't been at cinema.
Bridget Jones, isn't it? You're going to see Bridget Jones?
No, she suggested that, but I said no. I said I'm not watching out like that. But it's a Valentine's film, but not. It's like a gory sort of film, like a thriller. Heart Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're off to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a bit like Scream, that, if you're into stuff like that.
Yeah, it's basically about a serial killer that
Happy Valentine's Day.
Targets couples on Valentine's Day. So that's me not sleeping tomorrow night. But yeah, so hopefully it'll be good. How about you, mate? Any plans?
I don't celebrate it, mate, if I'm honest.
I don't celebrate. Well, I tell you what, I'll rephrase it then. Will Daniel Farker be getting some extra treatment in the
Oh
Old
yeah,
Loft?
mate. I'll top his yogurt pot up on that. He'll have loads of Muller Light. Muller, no. Yeah, Muller
Oh,
Lights.
nice. Bit of cheesecake as well.
Yeah, he looks like he lost a bit of timber actually. Does Dan? I might start feeding him some more. Missy said the other day that he looks quite thin when she went up there to fill up his bird feeder.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough. And hopefully Mike's he might be better enough to paint some naked portraits, especially with it being Valentine's Day. Maybe it's what people want. So
that's why Mike isn't here. He's booming this time of year, isn't he?
business is just off the charts in it at this time of year. But yeah, as I said, guys, hope you all enjoy your day tomorrow, whatever you may be doing. And with the game obviously being on Monday, if we're not back before, we'll definitely be back on Sunday to preview a massive game between Leeds and Sunderland on Monday. But as I say, guys, if we don't speak to you before, have a great weekend and we will see you on Sunday. Cheers.